It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, wanted to give you guys my post-fight review on tonight's Pro Box card. Shout out to the fine folks at Pro Box, always giving us good midweek boxing cards for the fans to watch and be happy to watch good competitive fights. So again, shout out to them as always. Now, the main event was Rod Radiovoje Kalajdzic against Sullivan Barrera, and that fight ended in a devastating 10th round stoppage. We'll get to that in a second, but really and truthfully, the real story of the night, the fight that stole the show, the big story in all this to me was actually in the co-main event, and it was between the Puerto Rican Nicklaus Flaz taking on the very formidable Luke Santamaria. Now, Santamaria is an interesting fighter because I've watched him fight a number of times against the likes of Paul Crow and Abel Ramos and Jesus Ramos as well. He's been an up and down fighter, but a good fighter, a fighter that understands positioning, a fighter that understands boxing. Truth be told, I actually think Luke Santamaria has underachieved a little bit, right? So this is an interesting fight against Nicklaus Flaz because Flaz is a guy that 3 fights ago got knocked out against Janelson Figueroa, right? But then what has he done since then? He's picked himself up off the canvas. He took the O of Brian Ceballo. Then he took the O of Jahai Tucker. So 2 very highly regarded, previously unbeaten prospects. And I think Flaz in this fight had the unique opportunity to go from being a opponent to now where you could say he's a full-fledged contender because he's fighting a guy in Santamaria who's proven at a certain level in boxing, right? So it was a really interesting fight. In the second round, I believe it was the second round, Flaz scored a stoppage or a knockdown. One thing that was very apparent from Flaz in this fight was that his athleticism was really a key factor here because the punching power, along with the athleticism, troubled Santamaria early, and he was able to punch in between the shots and just place the shots right in between what Santamaria was doing. I think Santamaria adjusted pretty well rounds 3, 4, 5, and he seemed to have some success. He seemed to really work his way back into the fight, and he's a guy that I think more so than most, he's not the fastest guy, he's not the most athletic guy, so positioning is a bit more important for guys like Santamaria. But even when he made the adjustments as the fight wore on, Flaz began to once again find a home for that right hand, find a home for the punches around the body, and it was a punch to the body, a left hook to the body that actually wound up dropping Flaz or Santamaria, and he eventually wound up getting the stoppage in round 6. So Nicklaus Flaz, 3 fights ago, he got stopped by Janelson Figueroa. He was really a nobody in boxing, to be honest with you. But what has he done since then? He took the old Brian Ceballo, took the old Jahai Tucker, and he now beats Luke Santamaria, who's a very good fighter at this level, and becomes the first man to stop him. And mind you, Santamaria has been in there with top world-class guys like Jesus Ramos. Jesus Ramos couldn't even get him out of there. Paul Crow, Abel Ramos, Michael Fox, even the corpse of Devin Alexander. So, a big win. And I think now Flaz is a guy that you got to start looking at as a true, legitimate contender in the 147, 154 pound range. I mean, I don't know where he's in the campaign at because when you look at Flaz, he's had fights recently as high as 154, 150. This fight tonight was at 147. So I think he's in position to fight, anybody in and around those weights, and I would like to see him fight some of those guys. I think we talk a lot about what do B-side fighters got to do to get into a position to become contenders. Well, you got to do what Nicklaus Flaz has done. Fight tough opposition, undefeated guys, come out here and really make statements. And that's what he's done. And just a beautiful, beautiful story. I think right now, outside the champions in Puerto Rico, I think the biggest story in Puerto Rican boxing, the best story in Puerto Rican boxing, it has to be Nicklaus Flaz because I know how hard it is to do what he's doing. I mean, for fighters to be the B-side, coming off of a loss, being brought in to lose, and win not just once, not just twice, but to do it 3 times. I mean, come on. this guy's legit contender. This guy can fight, and we deserve to see more of this guy on our TV screen. So, look, I'm not sure what could be next for him. I guess we'll discuss more of that as time goes on. But just a really good win tonight over a very solid fighter in Luke Santamaria. So, shout out to Nicklaus Flaz. And then, last but not least, going into our main event, it was a light heavyweight affair between Hot Rod Radiovoje Kalajdzic taking on Sullivan Barrera. And this is a 10-round fight. And, Hot Rod's a fighter that he's mixed it up at a pretty high level. He's fought Marcus Brown. He's fought, better BF. But he's a guy that you would probably think has also underachieved a little bit, right? And he was taking on a veteran tonight in Sullivan Barrera. Obviously, Barrera's 42 years old. He's at a very advanced age. He hadn't fought since the summer of 2021 when he fought Gilberto Zorro Ramirez. And even before that, the fight before that, he fought Jesse Hart in 2019. So he's had like 2 fights in the last 5 years. So not sparkling with activity, Sullivan Barrera. But Pro Box gave him an opportunity. Hot Rod won a regional title last year against Mickey Ellison in a very lethargic performance. So this is Hot Rod's chance to fight a name, guy who's mixed it with the best. Yes, he's old, but go on and make a statement. And as far as the fight's concerned, Hot Rod, he went in there early on. I thought he did a good job establishing the jab, establishing his range. But he made this one mistake a lot throughout the first 4 rounds where he would pull back in a straight line. And a lot of times he'd pull back in a straight line and he'd be very tall, making him a very hittable target against Sullivan Barrera. And for those of you who don't know, when you go and you dart out and you back up in a straight line, you want to keep your knees bent and you want to be as low of a target as possible so that you don't get hit with a big straight punch. And he was making that mistake a lot. So he got clipped a couple of times with the right hand, and Barrera was doing a good job of setting up the right hand by jabbing to the stomach and then coming up with the right hand. And I thought the first 4 rounds and some change were very difficult for Hot Rod. But he's very tall and lanky for the weight class, and I thought he did a great job as the fight went on, getting behind that jab, fighting tall. And as the fight went on, he began to really close the right eye of Sullivan Barrera shut. And honestly, it looked like he was going to go cruise to a decision. It was going to be a good, solid win. But, just not the most memorable performance. But what did he do? Hot Rod put the exclamation point on a really good performance of boxing where he hit Sullivan Barrera with a ridiculous 4-punch combination. He knocked him out the ring. And not only do I think he put the exclamation point on the fight and made a statement for his career, I think he put the exclamation point on Sullivan Barrera's career, because when you get knocked out like that, I mean, you can't. Listen. It's time to hang it up, brother. Like, Barrera has been a really good fighter for the sport. I really was a big fan of how he rebounded his career after he lost to Andre Ward, and he picked up some good wins back in the day. But it's time to probably call it quits, and I think he understands that himself. But Hot Rod, listen. We ask fighters to make statements. When people wake up tomorrow and they hear about what happened on Pro Box, they're not going to hear that that Hot Rod had a tough fight. All they're going to see is the devastating 4-punch combination knockout that knocked Barrera out the ring, and put the exclamation point on the fight. So now you look at Hot Rod. Hot Rod's he's ranked in the top 15 of a couple of the sanctioning bodies. And as far as what could be next for Hot Rod, I would like to see Radiovoje Kalajdzic fight, maybe like an Ahmed Ali, maybe a Anthony Yard, something like that. I think those are all guys ranked. Those are 2 guys ranked in and around him that I would like to see him fight. And one thing with him is he's a very flawed fighter. He's vulnerable, but man, he could box. He's got a very snappy jab. He can punch. And if you let him get off like Barrera did, you will get put out the ring quickly and swiftly. So I think now he's made himself more relevant, more of a talking point in the light heavyweight division, and I want to continue to see him be in good fights. One fight I'd recommend was the fight that Pro Box had signed at one point in time between him and this Russian named Ali Ismailov. That's a good fight. Ismailov just came off of a pretty good win a couple weeks ago, so I would like that fight. But nonetheless, a stay in victory and another good night of boxing on Pro Box TV. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Nicklaus Flaz is officially gone from opponent to contender. He beats up on Luke Santamaria with a 6-round stoppage, becoming the first man to stop him. Jesus Ramos couldn't do it. Abel Ramos couldn't do it. Michael Fox, Paul Crow, Devin Alexander. A bunch of names couldn't do it. But Nicklaus Flaz could do it. So he's a contender now. I want to see him in more relevant fights in the 147 and 154 pound divisions, whichever division he gets the best opportunities at and wants to compete at. And then Rod Radiovoje makes a statement. So make it that what you will. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. Once again, guys, I appreciate all the support. We're at 73,000 subscribers now. So looking forward to continued growth and success on the channel and a great year in boxing. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Contender, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.